The purpose of this presentation for the EDU 587 course under the leadership of Dr. Brody at Georgetown College is to share with you some insight about how teachers of English language learners can effectively communicate with immigrant students within their classrooms. This project presentation will do this by first studying a specific country. Then we will take a look at the cultural impacts that may affect immigrant students, both from this country and other countries around the world. And finally, reflect on recommendations of how teachers can implement culturally responsive strategies within their own classrooms. For the purpose of this study, we will look at the country of Ghana. Ghana is located on the west coast of Africa and is known as the closest point to the center of the world, where the prime meridian meets the equator. The land measures 92,100 square miles, and Accra, the capital of Ghana, is the largest city. The highest altitude of Ghana does not reach more than 3,000 feet, and the land across the country rises gradually as you travel north. The climate of Ghana is considered tropical thanks to its proximity to the equator and low elevations. It has two rainy seasons, March to July and September to October, and humidity is very high, especially along the coast of the Atlantic Ocean. Temperatures tend to stay warm, with days averaging 86 degrees Fahrenheit and nights averaging 68 degrees Fahrenheit. The vegetation of Ghana has been partially destroyed by land clearing for agriculture, but trees such as the giant silk cotton, African mahogany, and cedar are still prevalent in the tropical rainforest zone of the south. The northern two-thirds of the country is still covered by savanna grasslands. Animal life remains relatively diverse and includes leopards, hyena, buffalo, elephant, wild hog, antelope, and monkey, as well as many species of reptile. The population, according to the 2015 census taken in Ghana, is about 27.4 million people. The flag, seen on the left of the screen, is made up of 3 horizontal stripes and a black, 5-pointed star in the center. The red stripe represents blood of those who died in the country's struggle for independence. Gold stands for mineral wealth, and green represents the rich tropical forests. Finally, the star represents American freedom. Religion is a strong value held by many Ghanaians. With only about 5% not affiliated with any religion, about 70% of the country practices Christianity, 18% Muslim, and 8% some sort of traditional tribal practices. Other interesting and important facts about Ghana include Lake Volta, which is the largest artificial lake in the world and can even be seen from space, and the currency, cedi, which is about 23 cents to every one United States dollar. Ghana is named after an ancient gold trading empire between the 4th and 10th century. This territory was known as the Gold Coast, a reference to the amounts of gold that were exported by sea following the arrival of the first settlers, the Portuguese, in the 15th century. In 1874, what was known as the Gold Coast formally became a British colony, and in 1957, after World War I, Ghana gained independence on March 6th. Ghana assumes a special prominence, known as the first American country to obtain independence from European rule. Although originally founded on British parliamentary model, Ghana now follows an American tricameral system. This democracy is organized under an elected president, a legislature, and an independent judiciary. Ghana has 7 political parties, and overall, Ghana is considered a very peaceful country politically. Most social issues that arise are taken to a traditional chief within the tribe and never reaches the government level. People in Ghana are closely connected to their own families. The family bond is a source of identity, loyalty, and responsibility. The society as a whole has a hierarchical perspective, giving the most respect to one another based on age, experience, wealth, and/or position. When you are older, you are viewed as having wisdom and are therefore respected among others. Many festivals in Ghana are based upon the harvest seasons, marriage, birth, puberty, and death, but all festivals can vary between the 75 different ethnic groups found in Ghana. Outdooring, for example, refers to a Ghanaian ceremony where a newborn child experiences the outside world for the first time after 8 days of life. During this ceremony, the baby is given his or her name, which consists of no less than 5 names total, each having great significance in the life of the child. Names are given based on birth order, religion, day of the week the child is born, respected family members that have passed, and many more significant names. Marriage in Ghana has the purpose of providing a legitimate avenue for reproduction, as well as to support one another in companionship. 2 other festivals that are nationally known to Ghana are the Homowo Festival and the Panafest Festival. Homowo is a festival that ridicules hunger after the deadly famine that spread throughout the southern Accra Plains long ago, and Panafest celebrates Ghanaian roots and heritage every summer. The schooling age in Ghana is from 3 to 21 years of age. Students begin in preschool, then basic school, followed by junior high, senior high, and then, if a student so chooses, an institution or university. Overall, the literacy rate across Ghana is 71.5% literate. There is a widespread concern about education at all levels in Ghana. Several tribes and regions have poor access to schools, and the quality of education is an issue due to the teacher-student ratio of about 80 to 100 students per class, as well as the percentage of students who are able to pass the secondary schooling exam. In order to study how the culture of Ghana and immigrating from Ghana to the United States impacts students here in the United States, an interview was conducted in the home of a recently immigrated family from Ghana. The family of study is originally from Sunani, Ghana, and immigrated to the United States in May of 2016. Within the home, there is a father, mother, and 5 children ranging from ages 11 to 1. The family strongly values their religion of Christianity and came to America to gain a better, more quality education. As previously stated, education is the main reason for the family to choose to immigrate to the United States. Due to the low quality of education, the family wanted the best for their children, as well as themselves, so they decided to start the immigration process. They do miss, however, the government in Ghana. They spoke of the peacefulness among the political parties and loved the way not many issues were brought to court because they were able to deal with them within their tribe civilly. The family does not eat fast food here in the United States. Instead, they shop at an African grocery store nearby where they can get authentic crops and foods that they ate back in Ghana. Their home here in America is very different than their home back in Ghana. Back in Ghana, the family lived in a compound house shared by many families. Each family had a single room that was off of a main room shared by all families. One thing they mentioned that they missed about this style home was the availability for the children to play with other children in the main room. Because of their recent move to the United States, they said they did not currently allow the children to go outside and play with the other children due to safety reasons. The children miss playing outside with their friends in Ghana. This picture is an example of a compound, single-room home that the family lived in back in Ghana. During the interview, the family expressed their initial reactions from people towards them. They said that overall, people have been kind here in the United States, but they have received some judgments because of their cultural differences. The father said his philosophy for interactions here in the United States, that he tells his children even, is, if you smile, then it will be okay, and people will know that you are a kind person. The dreams and goals of the family was for their children to grow up and have a good, quality education, and they value what is most important in life, their religion of Christianity. Lastly, the family spoke of what they would consider to be their greatest achievement for their children while here in the United States. They said that they wish that their children would take their proper education here in the United States seriously and become a doctor, lawyer, accountant, or etc. The father even stated that he wanted his 1-year-old son to become an astronaut when he became older. From the study of this country and the in-home interview with the family recently immigrated from Ghana, there are many cultural impacts that teachers should be made aware of when teaching immigrants within their own classrooms. First, when thinking specifically of students from Ghana, respect is something that should definitely be noted. Because of their hierarchical view of both family and people in general, respect will most likely be automatically given to the teacher because of their age and position. Because of this, and because of their strong sense of and value for families, teachers can expect students to have a greater respect if a family-like relationship is formed and the teacher-student bond is made. From this bond and relationship, the teacher can then be more culturally responsive toward the student's education. Because many families in Ghana immigrate to gain that more quality education, as mentioned before, effort from the teacher is noted from the family. If the family does not think the teacher is giving their children a quality education, the family could become frustrated, and this family of study that we used even expressed what a concern it would raise. Teachers should be conscious of this value for education and strive to meet student needs within the classroom. Because Ghanaians value their religion greatly, students may incorporate this into their school day as well. Writing responses, discussions, and conversations might be centered on this topic. Teachers should educate themselves on religion and research appropriate ways to discuss religion within the classroom setting. From this study, we can also look at more broad applications for all ELL students in the classroom. First, it is imperative that teachers share a common understanding of bilingualism and understand how their students acquire their languages simultaneously, which is both languages at the same time, versus successfully, one after another. Next, teachers must understand the power of transfer between languages in their students. Past learning always influences the acquisition of new learning. Transfer of these languages can either be positive or negative, and the goal would obviously be for the past learning to help the learner deal with and acquire the new learning, or positive transfer. If the transfer is negative, you can assume that as a teacher, the student will have difficulty in learning the English language and therefore become frustrated or stressed within the classroom. Because of the potential of various types of transfer in the classroom and the difficulty it is for students in general to learn the English language, there are several recommendations we can look at to best teach all ELL students. First, we must consider the format of teaching ELL students that we will take. The different approaches range from sheltered instruction, pull-out method, to even dual language and immersion programs. Research advises schools to incorporate a bilingual approach because it is recommended that students learn the basic core concepts in their native language before learning it in a second language. However, most schools do not find this approach feasible. Regardless of approach taken, it is crucial for teachers to research the background of their students to know the best approach to teaching them reading and writing. Because of this, training for teachers to learn the best and most effective ELL teaching strategies should be taught thoroughly through professional developments or other means of training so that the classroom is culturally responsive to each student's learning experience. In order to begin a culturally responsive classroom, teachers must develop an understanding of their students' cultural, economical, and personal background. Based on this study, conducting a home visit was a great way to develop rapport with the parents and learn all about the aspects of their life back in Ghana as well as here in the United States, and even the students' lives. Home visits demonstrate the educator's willingness to relinquish authority and learn from the students' families and cultural community. From this home visit, teachers can take what they observe and learn and use the parents and students as a means to making their classrooms more culturally responsive. Strategies to cultivate a culturally responsive classroom is to first consider your classroom setup. The classroom setup is more than just deciding which shelves belong where, but rather being mindful that the environment and the setup plays an important role on how students interact with their room and the comfort level they are able to reach in order to learn. Important things to consider when setting up a classroom in a culturally responsive manner is thinking about what you put up. You want to avoid putting up only media, pictures, and posters that reflect an all-American culture, or only Caucasian people. Instead, through researching your students' cultures, teachers should place things on the walls that reflect all students, not only one group. By doing this, students are able to connect and have a sense of belonging in the classroom. Similarly to being mindful of what you put up, teachers should also make sure that when they are setting up their classroom, they have literature that is both representative of all cultures in the class, and that they also have a wide variety of reading levels available. Because reading is such a difficult skill to obtain in a second language, it is crucial that teachers have a variety of reading levels within the classroom library, as well as literature that is not just about Caucasian American stories by only American authors. Lastly, placing pictures on labels of where things go in the classroom is helpful to ELL students who do not read English well. The picture will allow them to associate the word on the label with what belongs within the labels. Establishing a warm and welcoming environment within the classroom setting is culturally responsive. Students who walk into a classroom that feels like a home setting will be more open to relationships and therefore more open to sharing and participating in class. Teachers should be culturally responsive by researching the students' cultures to make the most comfortable setting and environment for all students. Finally, culturally responsive teaching is reflected in the teacher's instruction as well. In order to be culturally responsive with classroom instruction, teachers should constantly monitor their discourse style to avoid judgment toward behaviors. In return, this could even be beneficial with helping with classroom management. Teachers should also constantly clarify expectations so that all students have a clear understanding and no confusion, as well as display a sensitivity to how diverse cultures handle conflict. Lastly, the curriculum should be relative to the students learning it. To do this, teachers can and should embed stories, reading, and perspectives that focus on history, immigration, and community into the units that they teach of the cultures found within the classroom. This creates opportunity for personal stories from ELLs to be shared and shows students that their lives are valued and play an important role within the classroom. I have included additional strategies and tips of how to be culturally responsive, as well as the resources for which I obtain my research and information. Thank you so much for viewing.